My life has been a bumpy ride. There's a lot that I couldn't block off. I put it over here. I used to have problems scratching myself, and I put that over there. I would get lost on a golf course, trying to play at par, which is 72 for 18 holes. Keep walking and walking. Sometimes I'd hit the ball off the tee and go down the fairway 225 yards. Not impressive if you know anything about golf. And sometimes I couldn't find the golf ball. I thought, well, maybe a squirrel came and took it. Grabbed it, went into the bushes, ate it. But a squirrel is pretty small. And a golf ball, well, the golf ball's like this. A little bigger than that. My life's been bumpy. 'Cause you know how things go, like the way things trigger. If I had a rough day and a squirrel took my golf ball and ate it off in the bushes, then that could just unleash a torrent of self-loathing, other loathing. And I just couldn't bring myself to go run off into the woods and find the squirrel. Take the squirrel by the neck and look at it in the eyes and say, "Why are you eating my golf ball?" I may never find the squirrel. Some people, they're not really friends of mine. They call these first world problems. All I can say is that my life's been bumpy. I've never really had it together. That squirrels trigger me. I want to do the right thing. I want to get a therapist. I want to stop being triggered by squirrels. Squirrels haunt my dreams. I see them at night. They'd go through one ear, prance around, collect golf balls, and go through the other ear. I like to feed them. Tell them that we can be on good terms if they just show me some respect and stop stealing my golf balls. Have you ever played golf? You're here, and you're like this. It's pretty cool. It's said to be a white man's game. I think that's pretty racist against white people. I can't play much golf anymore. I'm terrified of the squirrels. I can't stop thinking about them. If you're going to be haunted by something in life, it's probably better to be haunted by something other than a squirrel stealing your golf ball when you're a kid. I probably should get a therapist. I thought that maybe I could balance the equation in college when I did a report on squirrels. I sat out in the front lawn of campus, up against a tree, and watched them. What is a squirrel doing coming up to me, patting the ground like this, looking at me from different angles, wagging its tail, and making that little noise. I'm never going to be able to play golf again. It has nothing to do with my broken finger, which I try to hide from people. No, I have talked to a lot of people about this squirrel problem. I've got a lot of smart friends who have a lot of expertise in psychospiritual matters, and they tell me that if I want to transcend my phobia of squirrels, that I should probably look at the world through the eyes of a squirrel. So, periodically, a couple times a day, I try to inhabit the mind of a squirrel. And I flap my tail up and down. And I gather nuts and I eat them. I eat the nuts. And then I pat down the ground. Then I go. But the phobia has totally taken over my life. I can't walk down a street in any city the fear of a squirrel coming out and just looking at me. I don't know why. It's a first world problem. My friends assure me that I really don't have anything better to do with my life than be afraid of squirrels, and that I should probably develop bigger problems. And I tell them, well, you were never on a golf course when you were 14, and you hit a golf ball down the center of the fairway, and when you got there, 225 yards later, it wasn't there, and then you saw something scampering off to the side, and you thought maybe that squirrel had taken your golf ball, but you couldn't prove it. And the only alternative theory was that there was a vortex in the center of the fairway, and it was the twilight zone, and your golf ball went into the vortex and is now on the other side of the universe somewhere. That is far more horrifying than a squirrel. We've really got him now. We've really got him. And then, of course, my imagination just takes off like Star Trek, going to the end of the galaxy. Because then I imagine them. They've got an entire cave of golf balls. Right? Because it's not just me, it's dozens, maybe hundreds of golfers who've hit their golf ball down the center of the fairway, and they get there and it's gone. And all these squirrels are in their cave going, they're bobbing their heads, and they're flapping their tails, and they're patting down, and they're eating their golf balls. And I'm thinking to myself, why would a squirrel eat a golf ball? Isn't a golf ball like super hard to chew? Does a squirrel have the incisors, the strength to actually penetrate the shell of a golf ball? And then I think maybe there's a correlation. Maybe there is a correlation because there are dimples on a golf ball. And there are dimples on a squirrel. And I'm thinking maybe there's a causative relation too. Not just the correlation, but a causative relation. See, I'm really trying. I am really trying to get into the mind of a squirrel and see the world through a squirrel's eyes. What are all these squirrels doing with all these golf balls? What are they building there in their caves? You know, you go up to a tree and you see the roots, and the roots are coming out from the tree, and the roots are above the ground, and inside there's a cavernous reality. You don't dare go in there. You can't fit, but even if you could, you'd be terrified. What creature has the advantage just for being in the dark as you enter and you can't see a thing because you have the sunlight behind you and you're used to looking with all this light. And there they are. The army of squirrels looking at you. Flapping their tails. But they're kind of happy. Because you finally found them. You finally found us. Yeah. I'm looking for my golf ball. Do you think that you found it? Because I would like to continue playing. I'm playing bogey golf, and if I can't get this golf ball, I'll probably go into double bogey golf, and that's not good. How many golf balls do you have down there? Millions! Do you see why I'm terrified of squirrels? Do you understand now? This is what happens at night when I fall asleep. Just after I'm done counting sheep. Can you imagine what it would be like to also have problems with sheep? That would even be more than a first world problem. That might even be a second world or even a third world problem. But I feel awfully judged when people tell me that I have first world problems because it's a problem and it consumes my life. We're tormenting these people. And that's what they get for taking over the world. I want to become a squirrel. I would hate to be afraid of them my whole life. They're just these little things. They're only that big. Really, they're just that big, and the other part is the tail. I can't imagine what they're doing with all those golf balls. I have probably lost 50 to 60 golf balls. 50 to 60 times I hit it down the center of the fairway. When I got there, it was not there. And then there's no pond. There wasn't even any sand trap. There was no marsh. Nothing. Just a fairway. What's wrong with me? Do you think that I'm crazy? Can you imagine what it would have been like if you were just a 14-year-old kid, or 12, or 13? And this happened to you over and over and over again, and the only sense that you could make is that a squirrel came out and took your golf ball, but you don't even know. You have no idea why a squirrel would want it. I talked to a friend, a philosophical guy. He was really cool. He was really nice. He just said, well, how do you know that the golf ball is yours? What? Yeah, man, have you ever thought about that? How do you know the golf ball is yours? Well, because I bought it. Yeah, you bought it. But let's say you bought a Titleist, a 3-pack or an 18-pack of Titleist golf balls. Where did those come from? What do you mean? Where do they come from? They came from the Titleist production company. Do you know that? For sure? No? Maybe those golf balls were stolen from the squirrels and they're simply taking them back. you saying that all across the world squirrels are stealing golf balls from the center of fairways? Because they're just taking them back because someone stole them from them? That makes sense. Now you see, man, here you have been judging yourself as being psychologically unstable, afraid of squirrels, squirrel phobia, denouncing yourself as having a first world problem, when in reality you've actually stumbled across something that is the linchpin. What do you mean, the linchpin? What I'm saying to you is that you probably stumbled on something very significant. Is it related to why I'm afraid of squirrels? Oh, well, why not, man? If you go down this rabbit hole, oh, don't say rabbit hole. Well, if you go down the squirrel hole, and you look and you see an army of squirrels and they're just there, doing their thing, and they're protecting some great treasure, then maybe, just maybe, a golf ball is not what you think it is. What's a golf ball? What's a golf ball, man? I don't know what is a golf ball. You're the one who's telling me that it could be something other than a golf ball. Listen, if squirrels are stealing golf balls from the center of the fairway because Titleist and Pinnacle and Dunlop and all these others, Maxfly, have stolen the golf balls from the squirrels, then you have stepped into a war. Now you're starting to see what I call the linchpin. The linchpin. The linchpin. What is that? Oh. The linchpin is that thing that happens that is inexplicable, and they've got a war going on about it. How are you saying that? But do you think that the golf balls are the linchpin because there's something else going on, or do you feel like it's about the golf ball itself? Like, do you think that there are like millions of golf balls around the world that are themselves the real mystery? Or do you feel that it's a part of a larger mystery? That the golf ball is just a thing on the outside that we all see and don't understand. What do you think? I think you're onto something, man. Keep going. You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me anything else. Oh, man. You're on it. Oh, God. I kind of feel like this problem has taken over my life. And I kind of feel like, on the one hand, it's really, really cool. Because now I have something that I can write a PhD on if I want, to write a big book or go on to Oprah. You know, I can make a big deal out of this because it's significant. What is happening with the golf balls? They were stolen from the squirrels, and then the squirrels are stealing them back, and here we are, and we actually do not know the primary cause for this entire war. We only know that the golf ball is the linchpin of the war, and if we just pull on that thread right there, the whole infrastructure comes undone. This is more than a first world problem. This is more than squirrel phobia. This is more than me not having a self-esteem and inventing things to get concerned about. This is the real deal. I'm even the envy of people who don't have authentic problems. People who have to make up stuff. Well, I stumbled across this because I hit 50 to 60 golf balls in the center of the fairway when I was a kid, and then they're gone. And all I can see is this tail flapping in the distance as this squirrel scampers into the brush and hides behind a tree and then goes down into a cave to join his fellow legionnaires, the army of squirrels, squirreling away countless golf balls. He's almost on to us. He's almost got it. Not long now before the others will figure out. We have to keep up the good work, fellow squirrels. We have to keep up the good work. The future of the Earth is at stake. These people, taking away from the core of the planet, going around and doing their leisurely things, playing golf, hitting a ball at a stick, depleting the core of the Earth. But we'll save it. All of us. Every last one of us. We will save the Earth. If he comes back, invite him down. Let him see the masterpiece. Let him see that we are his best friend. There are sometimes when I can't tell whether I'm actually dreaming of all these faces. Can you believe what it's like? Can you even imagine? A whole wall of faces. They're stacked up on top of each other. And they're all alive and they're all looking at me. Some of them are perplexed. Some of them are amazed. Some of them are confused. Some of them are disdainful. Some of them are excited. Some of them are in love. A wall full of thousands of squirrel faces as I look down into the cave. They won't let me pass. I don't take offense. I just know that whatever they're guarding, it must be really important. I don't know which one to talk to. There are literally thousands, millions, I can't tell. They're all stacked upon top of each other, and I am rather horrified, because I've always been afraid of squirrels. Ever since they started stealing my golf balls. I want to say, take me to your leader. Can I speak to your leader if you have a leader? And they're all like this. They're all doing their squirrel things, and I can't see their tails, but if they could see their tails, they would be going like this. And then, in unison, they start going, it's so shrill. There's millions of their voices coming at me, and I fall to my knees. And I beg them to stop. Could you please stop? Millions. And then all of a sudden, they part like waves, like Moses in the Red Sea, and I walk through, and I'm scared. There's like a whole corridor of thousands and thousands, maybe millions of squirrels. And I'm walking, and they can tell that I'm walking with the utmost humility. I'm very preoccupied with just keeping my composure. And meanwhile, they're all like this. I'm a novelty because there's never been a human this far into the world of the squirrel. Never. I'm the first. I can tell. I'm a novelty. I'm a threat. I'm a curiosity. I'm also terrified, because I know I could see the secret that's beneath the surface of the earth that no other human being has ever experienced other than myself. And then I'm brought into the inner sanctum. And of course, at that point, you can probably already guess what I see. Millions and millions of golf balls stacked up in pyramids. You could see the squirrels scampering up the sides of the pyramids ever so delicately so as not to disturb the equilibrium. And they just stack the golf balls in pyramids. And I am there before the Squirrel King. And I bow before His Majesty. Excuse me, kind sir. I believe you stole my golf ball when I was 14 years old. And I'm not playing golf anymore. I don't really care. But that changed my life because it just happened over and over and over and over and over again. And when the internet finally came online, I Googled it, and I'm not the only one in the world who's experienced this. And now I can see where all the golf balls have gone. Yes, sir, oh my God. Frank? Frank? What? My philosopher friend, Frank. Oh my God, King of the Squirrels. I don't get it. What are you doing here, man? Not a man. A squirrel. The linchpin. You're the linchpin. I'm the linchpin. And his tail flaps up and down. And he's patting right there. He's just patting in front of me, this human squirrel. Oh my God. So what is happening? You want to know the key, do you? The linchpin. Well, it's pretty simple in some respects, because what's happened is the humans, well, they've been taking all this iron from the core of the earth, all this great metal, extracting it. Some are mining, and they use it for all sorts of enterprises, golf balls being the major enterprise. What? Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're depleting the earth so they can play golf. And we squirrels are the ones who are trying to balance that equation. We're trying to take what the humans have extracted from the center of the earth and put it back. Frank, I think you guys are making an error. Because golf balls aren't made of iron. Huh. How do you know? Well, they're not. It's some kind of resin, and then there's string inside and then rubber. That's what you've been told. No, I haven't been told that. I've seen the inside of a golf ball, and it's not iron, it's not precious metal, it's not ore. Have you ever seen inside of a golf ball, Frank? I don't need to see inside of a golf ball to know what humans are doing. Frank, but... So you're telling me that you've been stealing millions of golf balls? You and your squirrel cronies, your army, have been stealing this for decades from the center of fairways and driving golfers crazy? And you think it's because you're going to replenish the earth? These golf balls aren't coming from, the core or any of that. Do you know how this has traumatized me since I was 14 years old? I can't even tell you. I have hit so many golf balls in the center of the fairway, and I get out there and they're gone, and a squirrel has stolen them, and I'm traumatized because it keeps happening, and then I find out it's happening all over the world, and you guys are doing it for the wrong reasons. Why is everybody doing this? Why is it I have to come down to the center of the earth and get stared at by hundreds of squirrels that terrify me because I have squirrelophobia? And now I'm talking to you. You're not even a human. You're a philosopher squirrel. And you're wrong. You're totally wrong. You're trying to save the world and you don't even know what the composition of a golf ball is. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Frank, it matters. If you're trying to save the earth, then you should probably get it right. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It just matters that we're trying to save the earth. Why? What? How could that possibly be right? Everybody is trying to save the earth. It's not just the squirrels, the lions, the giraffes, the seagulls, the turtles, the ants. Everybody's trying to save the earth. Well, we should get it right then. It doesn't matter, just our heart is in the right place. Oh, man, so how can that even work? It works because our heart is in the right place. Your mind has to be in the right place, Frank. You're a philosopher squirrel. You have to get the right storyline. If you don't know what you're doing, then your heart is not in the right place. You cannot be a squirrel stealing millions of golf balls thinking that you're saving the earth, because golf balls and the core of the earth is totally different material. It's totally different. I'm sorry that you've gone through all of this labor, and I'm sorry that you're wrong. But you gotta stop this. You're driving golfers crazy. And I don't even know what to do about myself right now because, first of all, I had a problem. I've had a problem for decades about golf balls and squirrels, and now I see that it was a complete waste of time because you were wrong. You were wrong, Frank. But now I see something, a much bigger world, which is if you are a fucking philosopher squirrel human hybrid trying to save the world with your misguided notions, You know, these other animals are trying to save the world with their misguided notions, because if you got it wrong, I'm sure they're getting it wrong. Yes. Yes, no. Yes, yes, no. Stop playing with me, Frank. You need to let me out of this cave. I'm sorry. It's time for you to become a squirrel. I'm not becoming a squirrel. It's time. Frank, I came down this hole. I respect your operation, but I am not becoming a squirrel. I am happy to be a human. There's nothing that you can do to change my mind, so you might as well just let me back up. Get out of here. Not going to be saving the earth today. You can keep your golf balls, but I would recommend that in the future, you do not steal any more golf balls, because you are creating a lot of first world problems, Frank. You're driving golfers nuts. Oh no. It's happening. I said nuts as a figure of speech, Frank. I'm not turning into a squirrel. Oh, you are. I am not. I'm going nuts. Oh, God, I'm going nuts. Is that what this means? When people go nuts, they're turning into squirrels, and that's how you got them down here. That's how you convinced them to steal golf balls from the center of the fairway. You made them nuts. You made them think they stepped into the Twilight Zone when their golf balls disappeared. You drove them nuts, and that's how they became squirrels, and that's how you're doing it to me, Frank. You are a despot, and a dictator, and a horrible excuse for a squirrel. I will become a squirrel under one condition. I'll become a squirrel under one condition, Frank. That we save the earth the right way. Not with misguided notions. I won't be nuts forever. I'm gonna get it right. Oh yeah? If you get it right, you can be the king of the squirrels. I will, Frank. I will. I'll get it right. Because I don't think that you're doing the right thing, Frank. By stealing golf balls. You're messing us up. You're messing us up. And squirrels should not do that. Did you